First of all, I would like to thank Indian Foundation, the organization of this conference, for the invitation for Oman to participate in this conference. And this is the second year that Oman participated in this conference. As well, we would like to thank them to give us the opportunity to give a short brief about our experience or what we are doing exactly for counterterrorism in Oman. My name is Ismail Al Hadidi, and I represent the National Counterterrorism Committee in Oman. And in this presentation, I will try to give you what is the strategy that we employ in counterterrorism, as well what are the measures and the actions that we are taking to employ this strategy. As you know all, that Oman is a neighbor country for Yemen. And in Yemen, there are two main terrorist organizations active with hundreds of elements. First, AQAB, or Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, as well the appearance of IS in 2014. And I guess all of you are aware that IS in Yemen reached a point where they have done or conduct many attacks inside the capital of Yemen since the crisis starts in Yemen in 2013. Also, Oman is not far away from the region that has the conflict in Syria and Iraq, as we always have a concern about some of the fighters who might run away after the big pressures for ISIL in Syria and Iraq. So that's the reason, or the main reasons, of why Oman concerned mainly on counterterrorism. So first, I will give a short or the main principles that the strategy of counterterrorism in Oman, and later I will talk about the action that have been taken to employ this strategy. Oman has not been subjected to any terrorist acts directly. It has in common as a commitment to the United Nations resolution to support the international efforts to combat, eliminate terrorism by taking appropriate action through formulated a specialized strategy in counterterrorism. The National Counterterrorism Committee is entrusted with supervising the implementation of this strategy, and this strategy mainly it affirms the renouncing of terrorism and extremism and encourage the values of moderation, tolerance through the following. First, renouncing terrorism regardless of its source, reasons, justifications. Second, protecting Oman's security and stability through the collective responsibility. Third, security and stability are the basis of development and prosperity. And I guess all of you were discussing and agreed that there must be stability as well to ensure the security in any areas in this world. Protecting society from extremism ideas or extreme or radical ideas. Promoting justice, equal opportunity, dignifying living for citizens and residents, as well as strengthening values of tolerance, moderation in the society, spreading the message of tolerance, moderation, and as well the human values of the Omani society into the international circle. Also, consolidating human values and principles of peaceful among those residents in Oman, regardless of their religious or ethnic or affiliations, responding laws, regulations, human rights, and the principles of the international law, orientating the dealing with the causes of the lead of extremism by adopting of the counseling procedures, as well as intensifying the role of media and public awareness in fighting terrorism-associated extremism. Those are the main principles of the strategy in counterterrorism. And actually, to employ this strategy, we have care about three main, or around four to five aspects. The first aspect is the security aspect. The second one is the media aspect. The third one is the educational aspect, as well the economic aspect. In the security aspect, we are following the activities of religious preaching groups and its activities individuals to avoid being exploited by any extremist groups. Holding friendly interview with people who are detected to be early stage of radicalization, to advise them and help them to correct their misconceptions. Adopting the principles of bringing the convicts into the confrontations with their parents, with their guardians, with their relatives who have the ability to influence them. Also, we contact those who are involved in the extremist activities via avoiding defaming them and seeking with the assistance from the government, also from the private institutions, to find job for them. We get job for them after the completing the legal criminal proceeding, as well as keeping in contact with them, trying to find if they are still having the same thought or the same ideology in their minds. In the media aspect, we also focus on the prevalent media policy to minimize or immunize the society against the causes of extremist and radicalizations which lead to terrorists. So the policy in media calls to strengthen values of tolerance, values of harmony, unity, and among its society members, as well as avoiding the sectarians and tribal bigotries at all levels of all local media. Oman follow a neutral policy when covering news, especially when it is related to civil or sectarians. And I would like to highlight in this point that we have found that mainly many of fighters or many of elements, they travel to join ISIL in Syria and Iraq. The reason is out of the media. The beginning of the crisis in 2030 in Syria and Iraq, there were 100 of channels and media showing the crisis mainly as a human crisis. So there were like a reason or a dream in somehow. And this comes closely to what the ISIL starts with, the ideology of bringing the Khilafah. In the educational aspect, we focus on the younger generations. So we have the principle of safeguarding the integrity and security of the country and its residents through teaching the principle of moderation, as well the tolerance in school curricula at all educational levels. In Oman, in the religious aspect, we ensure the freedom of the religion and practicing the worship for all religions, ensuring the equality between Islamic sects within the Sultanate and not favoring one sect above the others. In Oman, we have 3 sects, As a Muslims, we have Shia, Ibadi, as well as Sunnah. And all they pray in one mosque. We don't have any problem with any such sectarian things. As will the government supervising the Friday ceremony and other lectures and ensuring the content of the topic and subject are prepared in advance and officially approved. So most or all the speech that given inside the mosque or inside the schools normally approved through the government and supervising through the government. In terms of the law or the legal aspect, Oman, we have the counter-terrorism law that promoted by the royal decree in 2007. Also, we have a law of combating money laundering and terrorist finance in the royal decree in 2016. As well, we have the law of criminal procedures. As well, we have a law for weapons and ammunition law. In terms of the economic aspect, Oman is seeking to provide as many job opportunities as possible and through a large number for young people. It might be a bit challenging for the government. However, we believe providing a good opportunities for young people, it's avoid them to be radicalized by the extremism groups. Also, we try to assist those implicated in the extremist activities, or they have been affected by the extremists in the society after completing their judicial or criminal procedures. In the international level, we ensure that we have a good cooperation with other countries to exchange informations related to the terrorist elements and activities, as well as Oman has ratified most international and regional conventions. Also, we have commitment in the implementation of the international resolution issued by the United Nations Security Council, as well as promoting dialogues and expanding the understanding between civilization via means of participating in relevant international seminars and conferences. And that's why actually we have decided to give this short brief about the strategy of counterterrorism in Oman. Thank you very much.